Rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Go ahead, Mark. Mr. Air. Here. Mr. Fader. Here. Mr. Gardner. Mr. Hamlin. Mrs. Kenny.
Here.
Mr. LaRoche. Here. Mr. Nagel. Mr. Brooks. Here. Mr. Stinger. Here. Mr. Stewart. Here. Mr. Watson. Here. Do we have any public participation? Seeing none. Let's go to the minutes, please. Okay, the minutes were sent out with your packets. If everybody had a chance to review, anybody have any questions or comments? Not, I recommend to the board to approve last month's board meeting. Motion, we'll have a second. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Mark? Okay. I just wanted to let the board know that Heather and I will have a meeting with the Belmont County Budget Commission. It's scheduled for February 26th. This will be a tax budget hearing. We're trying to get stuff together so that, and all your schools are doing the same thing. I don't know about Harrison though, but I know all Belmont County schools are doing this. What time did you say it was? It's at 12 noon. Into one book our schedule time. Also, I passed out prior to the meeting is the superintendent treasurer evaluations. Guys get those filled out and back to Rogers, chair of the personnel committee for next meetings. That'd be great. I also emailed out the digital copy as well. So whichever way you prefer to fill it out, submit it. If you got any questions, either talk to me or Roger. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, also in your package, we had the cash summary report for the month of January. For the month end, general fund balance is $5,528,723.10. Bond retirement fund was $2,062.50. Cafeteria fund, $72,076.95. Termination of benefits fund, $140,542.91. Our capital project fund, $2,924,523.38. Also on the back side of that report, you'll see our purchase grant once again is in the negative, $18,830.50. I submitted the cash request well in advance, but we're working on a new system that I guess it's called Dues now, is put out, and it's a work in progress. So we actually received the money like 2 days after our closeout. But we did receive the money, so I actually submitted this month's request today in hopes that we have it by the end of the month, but it hasn't worked out that way yet. But we have a grand total of all funds at the month end of January of $8,979,634.51. Cash disbursement for the month of January is $782,356.44. On our investments for the month of January, our interest earned was $26,701.19. We have a fiscal year to date, a total of $210,245.54. I see still high. So it's going to be going down. Yeah, we're starting to see that. It's still pretty good though. 3.84 for the month of January. With the interest rate.
But it's not like 5.6 like it
was. Yeah, it was getting up there. It was pretty nice. We also have a then and now. This is approval of an then and now certificate in the amount of $4,862.49 to Herb Electric Company for repairs, for the repairing damaged conduit and reroute overhead in both Auto Tech and Auto Collision labs at the BCC campus. Heather might be able to shed some more light on this.
So the summer when we were doing the trench projects, what ended up happening was they dug where there was supposed to be no conduit or wire. Unfortunately, it wasn't on the blueprint and there was conduit and wire. So, and it was active. So, basically there was no payment made, and they resubmitted it, and it was not Herb's fault. It wasn't our fault either, but we decided that it was something that needed to be taken care of. They did the work for it to get it fixed up for us in the Auto Collision and Auto Tech labs. And, you know, almost $4,900 was, you know, I mean, it wasn't cheap, but again, it was a mistake that needed to be fixed, so.
Okay, next item on the list is our financial forecast. As you know, we now have to have it filed by the end of February rather than the end of May. There should be a copy in everyone's packet. We've also sent out initially the digital copy as well. We're going down through our forecast. For our real estate, I actually contacted both Belmont and Harrison counties to get some projection numbers. And Belmont County, I was kind of surprised that they're projecting a decrease in what we'll be receiving on this fiscal year. However, Harrison is going to show an increase. So between the two, I'm projecting about a 2.06% decrease for this year, and then small increases for fiscal years 27, 28, and 29. So for 27, I projected a 1.5% and then a 1% for fiscal year 28, 29.
Now, the 1.45 mils that we have,
Yes,
we also received that from Harrison.
yes.
Okay. Makes sense. For some reason, we kind of didn't know.
Yeah. And we get a small portion also from Jefferson and Carrolltown. Wow. And then on the personal property tax, I'm showing a decrease for this year, and then I think I got flat funded throughout the 27, 28, 29. And it's hard to project that because I spoke to the county auditors, and they said, they indicated they're only paying what they think they have to pay for now. This is still in litigation, is my understanding.
We just filed another
Yeah. You know, probably continue to like that.
until someone stops that.
Yeah. With the state foundation, as you know, we're working under a new fair school funding plan that began back in fiscal year 22, and it was supposed to be phased in over 6 years. With our current budget under House Bill 96, the phase in is being continued 83.33% for the current year, this year, and 100% for fiscal year 27. So I use that to help with my projections for fiscal year 26 and 27. And then when we get into 28, 29, we're getting into a new biennium. So I show a small decrease and then flat funded for 29. We really don't know what will happen at that point. State reimbursements for property tax credit. This includes the homestead exemption and the rollback reimbursements from the state of Ohio. And that's just based off of historical data that we have, plus what we've seen in the going forward as far as our real estate taxes are, because they're kind of related. The all other revenue, that includes the trailer tax, interest, dues and fees, rent, miscellaneous revenue. That also includes the Belmont County Board of DP funds we get, and that's not guaranteed. So I typically do not include that, in future years, so. for the
That's
year
still the same
27,
amount?
20
That's
Yes,
the same amount.
yes. That's typically, we get 100,000 just for special ed, but then, Cheryl Sapanic, she also files for a grant, we get a small amount as well. So this year, I think we got about 24 extra $1,000. Okay, just for special ed. And then there's also TIF money included in that. So you see a pretty big variance there. The biggest part of that is gonna be the DD's money, but also interest rates. As they decline, I showed a decrease in that as well. Okay, down to expenses for personnel. There's an assumption that wages and fringe benefits will continue be paid out of grants that are currently being paid out of grants. Salaries for fiscal year 26 and fiscal year 27 are all based on a current negotiated agreement that runs through June 30th of 2027. For fiscal years 28 and 29, I projected a 0% increase on salaries. And then for medical and prescription under benefits, I'm projecting a 10% increase on medical prescriptions, and for dental and vision, a 3%. That's for fiscal years 27 to 29. And then for the remainder, all other expenses for purchase services, supplies, capital outlay, there was adjustments made based off of our weighted funding, and then I used historical data also. Any questions on any of the above items we discussed? If not, I recommend your board to approve item A through D.
Sorry.
Okay, we have a second. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Superintendent?
Right. So first I'm going to start off with our students of the month, at the Belmont Career Center for the 9th grade. We have Noah Tuchek, who is in small engine from Union Local. 10th grade, Emily Dean, Allied Health from Bridgeport. 11th grade, Marcy Palmer, also Allied Health from Barnesville. And 12th grade, Charles Jeffries, small engine from Harrison Central. At the Harrison Career Center, we have 9th grade, Alice Stidd, construction trades. 10th grade, we have Caitlin Summers, hospitality. 11th grade, Tasia McDonald, hospitality. And 12th grade, Logan Stutz, ag mechanics. So congratulations to our January students of the month at Belmont and Harrison Career Center. Also, we have our honor roll and principals list for the Belmont Career Center and the Harrison Career Center. So congratulations to all of those students who made honor roll and principals for the second 9 weeks. Keep up the good work, and hopefully that continues for you and we get many more on that list for the third night. Last month, I updated the board with that fact sheet from CTE. In our email, we received notification from the state in regards to our 2025 quality program review. And that's what I indicated to Mr. Watson, that we would get a lot of information from that data. So we did finally get a release of that. And I just thought I would give you an overview, because I'm sure when Michelle does her report, probably in April or May, that she'll go over some of this information with you. But just to kind of give you an idea of how our programs are faring overall, we had one program that was non-compliant based on technical skill achievement. So that was for web exam passage, and that was our ag program. And we actually have 3 that contribute to this. So we have small engines, and we have ag, diesel, and ag mechanics. So we have 2 programs here at Belmont and 1 program at Harrison, and they just take all of those students and lump them together. So basically that meant they fell underneath of the 70% rating. And then we had 1 program, our Allied Health, which was non-compliant based on the participation in our program placement. So basically what that meant was during the 6-month follow-up, they, did not meet the 84% threshold. Now we have 3 programs in that as well, and all of those, are here at this building. So we have, our allied health, and we have our, dental, and we also have our, EMT program. The other areas are work-based learning, and it's an area of weakness, and it's mostly at our satellite programs. So because they are single periods, it's hard to get the work-based learning in. But it's something that we can do, and we just need to do a better job of tracking. And we'll be working, with the supervisors as well as, the work-based learning coordinator to get that remedied. So we had 7 programs that were non-compliant based on, work-based learning, and that was our media arts, which is entertainment marketing at St. Clairsville. Our DB, which is a structural systems, which is our carpentry and our construction trades. Also, we have a DF, which is another form of carpentry, but it's more architectural, and that's our construction trades at Shadyside. Finance, which is at, Barnesville, culinary arts at Barnesville. Our interactive media program, which we have a couple of satellites, one at St. Clairsville, one at Shadyside, and also at the Harrison building, and our PC network here at, Belmont. The percentage for work-based learning is 15%, so it's fairly low for a program. When I say program, I'm talking more along the lines of something that happens in a career center. So if you're looking at, somebody that has 20 students, if you're looking at 15%, 3 of those students need to hit that 250-hour mark. So it's not a lot of students, but when you're talking about something that is per period based, they could have 20 kids a period. So if you have that times 7 period, you're looking at much larger numbers. So it's just something that we are aware of, and we will remedy that moving forward to make sure those students get some type of, now it might not be early placement, but it can be stimulated work experience, or like a, job shadowing or something like that, where they can get those 250 hours.
Now, when you said allied health, you said the 6-month follow-up, do you mean after they graduate?
After they graduate, once they leave career tech education, and
They're
they
not
graduate.
placed in a job in their field.
Well, and here's the thing, it doesn't necessarily have to be in their field. It can be, we talk about it as sort of the 3 or 4 E's. So you're looking at employed, and when I say employed, it can be in the career or at McDonald's, to be honest.
Right.
They can be enlisted, they can be enrolled in college, or they can be an entrepreneur, so they can have their own business. So those are the 4 areas that they're looking at when we do that follow-up survey. So just wanted to follow up, and we will have something in March that aligns more to that the college credit and those kinds of things once we do the final follow-up. Also wanted to update you as snow days have happened, and we are doing okay, but could be in a situation with especially our seniors here at Belmont. So at Belmont, we had 10 days that were snow days. 3 of those we were able to go remote. We did have 1 2-hour delay, which was weather-based, and then we did have the 1 1-hour dismissal due to the sewer. So right now, our seniors are at 1,005.27 hours. They need 1,001 to graduate. Okay. Our underclassmen are 1,016.93. So a little bit better shape, but again, those seniors, that's what we need to watch, because they do get, they get a couple days early release due to the senior certificate ceremony. However, we can do project days at the end where they come back in and they can do some senior projects to make up that time if we get into that situation. Just to give you a little reminder, our seniors graduated with 1,002 hours last year. So we were close last year too, but I don't think we were close this early. So at Harrison, we have missed 14 days. 13 of those were due to weather, and then we had a power outage, a transformer blew right before Christmas break. So 7 of those were remote. We did have 2 2-hour delays, and those were due to weather. Their day is 6 hours, where Belmont's is 5.83. So that little portion of time that is extra helps Harrison a good bit. So their seniors are at 1,025 and their underclassmen are 1,037. So much better shape in that building than we are here. But we do have a shorter day here because our planning is outside of the day due to the busing. Just to give you an update, we will be moving parking lots just the 1st of March. We'll be working with Deputy Foro and Mr. Shreve to get that taken care of. Tim is actually working with a company to get us some barricades so that way we can make sure students are contained to a certain area and do not interfere with Belmont College. They were very easy to work with. Mark and I, and Michelle was actually in there as well too, met with them, and they understood our situation and seen, work going on back there. So they were very, very open to, what we needed to do. Also, we're sitting with somebody over here that is going to be giving an award. The 2026 OSBA Service and Training Award is going to go to Mr. Fader. This is an award, and it's the STAR Awards Program for Service, Training, Aptitude, and Recognition. So congratulations to you. It is a true commitment towards public education and the importance that you attach to your role as a board member. Only 34 of them who are going to be honored will receive the service award, and 41 of them will be getting that for the training award. So thank you for all you do for us and St. Clairsville as well. And thank you.
Are you ready?
Almost. Currently, we are undergoing our 8th grade tour. So far, we've had 2. We've had Bridgeport, and we also had Bel Air. And both of those tours are going well. And we will have 2 more coming up this week until we get through all of those in February. Mr. Albright at the Harrison Building was lucky enough to take 10 of his students to the Kentucky Farm Show. I saw some of the reports on Facebook, and it looks like they had a fabulous time. And the students got to get out of the state and see things that they don't normally see. And last but not least is the Harrison Harrison Hills collaboration with the Vet Tech Science Program. Mr. Duran, Morgan, and myself met last Monday. And we're going to be working on an MOU with them to get that program up and running for next school year. We are both very excited, and they're going to start doing their scheduling pretty soon. And we'll get to know some numbers going into that program, and that'll give Michelle an idea of what we're going to be advertising for to get that up and running for the next school year. Sorry for the long list, but just thought I wanted to update you with everything. Does anybody have any questions or comments for me?
Job well done. Yeah. Okay. Legislative, I'm going to be in Athens, Ohio on the 22nd. We will have the Southeast Regional Executive Committee meeting at the University Inn. I'm sure there's going to be a couple issues come up. One of the main issues is we have a legislator now that's proposing that the school districts that signed against the legislature giving money to the private and parochial schools, that we will be penalized. We're going to wait and see what happens for that, but I think that first of all, it's against our freedom of, they're violating our civil rights if they do such a thing. They're also violating our freedom of speech. So we're going to see where this goes. But we have several individuals that are adamant that they're going to continue giving as much money as they feel is necessary for the private and parochial schools to be enhanced as well as public school. Well, they're being enhanced a lot more than we are for percentage wise. So we'll see where we go. I was approached last year to serve a committee by three other county, school districts. And they were looking into this because there was already ground that they was, some of the legislators were gonna bring this motion up. So I'm sure next week, when I'm in Athens, this will be discussed and I'll keep you abreast. But that to me is the most blatant, irresponsible action you could do as a legislator. You're saying, because 300 school districts said you're wrong, they want to take us to court and take money away from our state funds. Now, there are a couple legislators that have not openly, but privately expressed horror in this because you're going to go into the midterm, you're going to go into the election, and I think you're going to sour people off bad, and I'll keep you appraised of what I'm finding, but hey, they're just ugly stuff coming all over.
And how many of those private parochial schools have to sit through budget commission meetings?
I don't think anybody.
See.
And they don't have to show all of their stuff either. We have to show everything.
Yeah, they don't have to show any. But yet they get.
The biggest thing is people are accusing at least 7 or 8 of the legislators of having conflicts of interest because their families are running some of these. So if that's not a conflict of interest, when your wife or your brother is running this and you're voting for that, something's off. But hey, we'll see where it goes.
We've gone down this road twice, both times. Many of them have gone to jail.
That's okay as far as I'm concerned.
Well, me too, but I'm just saying, it seems like we continue to go down that road each time. And what ends up happening in the end, they shut them down, they send them.
But that's what I have. I'll keep you abreast. There's just a lot of stuff happening. Public education has been. No question about it. Okay, you ready for executive session? I'd like to have a motion to go into executive session.
No need.
Do I have a second? Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We're in at 6:27.
that time, at Bridgeport and out here, said, you go ahead and tax people in Harrison the same as they're being taxed over here. You build a vocational school, but it'll be under, that's why it's Belmont Harrison. Going together. They came in and forced that. They didn't want a vocational school at all. Goes back there. So they end up getting the same village, pardon me?
I said that again, doesn't shock.
Doesn't shock me, but they ended up, that's why the millage is the same, but that's how it all started.
That's an interesting history. That's what I was wondering how the village was the same.
Mhm.
I just talked about that.
I've got a lot of.
You gotta write it down.
I've been around long.
You should write a book.
Okay,
All right, number 8, memorandum of understanding. We talked about this a little bit last week, and it's already in our negotiated agreement, for our custodial staff and maintenance for, calamity days. But once you get beyond the first 5, there was nothing in our, master agreement that addressed this. So, we, had an MOU, drawn up. And if you look at 7.1F, it is what is highlighted. And it says the maintenance staff who are directed to report to work after 5 calamity days during a level 2 or level 3 only, emergency status shall be compensated with full days pay plus payment for each hour that is worked by the employee on such calamity days. The full day's pay and rate shall be based on the employee's normal rate of pay. So basically what we did was, this year in particular, we had a level 3, which changed to a level 2, and then a couple more days where our staff got to stay home beyond the 5. And then our maintenance staff had to come in and clear lots, with snow. And so that we needed to address that so that they can be taken care of with, them coming into work. Does anyone have any questions? If not, I recommend the Board of Education approve the memorandum of understanding.
second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Continue.
All right, employment recommendations. A, new hire, Darcy Glover Giordano. That was a hard word. Giordano? Giordano, thank you. Allied Health Science Instructor, Belmont Career Center, full-time certified, 1-year contract, 25-26 school year. She'll be coming in at step 10, effective February 9th, 2026. So Michelle, tell us a little bit about hers.
Sure. She is coming to us with 14 years of nursing experience, with nursing home experience. One thing that I made sure of when we were interviewing candidates, that they met all the criteria that the Ohio Department of Health has set forth in terms of hiring a primary instructor for the Allied Health program. So fortunately, she does meet all the criteria, and she actually has completed the train the trainer as well. So we should be submitting her paperwork to the Ohio Department of Health tomorrow to get her approved primary instructor so the kids can start their hours. So she is, we're very lucky that we've gotten her. I was quite impressed with this last round of interviews. We had 7 candidates. I was like, it would have been nice if I had them earlier in the year, but I'll take what I can get. It's obviously perfect timing. So we're very excited to have Darcy join our team. She's already hit the ground running, coming in, building relationships with the students and really doing a nice job. The students are very pleased.
Just want to know, I have some personal experience with Darcy. She's the head nurse at the Belmont County Jail. She also serves the head nurse for us at our detention center. Highly detailed individual, extremely reliable. I give her glowing recommendations even before she was up here. So I think that will probably work out pretty well for us. Very helpful.
Okay. Are we going to give her like extra extended days?
Well-
She's come into the building.
That is part B, and
Oh.
Initially when Michelle and I spoke, I was in Columbus at the time, and she texted me and said, are we giving her extended time? And I initially gave her 5 days because she's coming in with such a limited schedule at the end of the year. But she did work at home. I gave her permission to do some extended time to get the train the trainer finished over the weekend, which is something that is required. They have to get written permission from me to do that. But I probably will be coming back to you guys asking for additional time,
That's what-
beyond these 5 days. So, any other questions? Right, so approve the supplemental contracts for the following personnel for the 25-26 school year. So Darcy for 5 days as the new instructor. Probably just to finish her out, I may, come back and ask for 3 to 5 additional days. So if there aren't any other questions, I ask that you approve items 9A through B. Those,
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Continue. Next, Joe. Yeah, next.
she did a fabulous job. Thank you, Michelle. We also have an addendum for, number 10. So A through C, contracts and other Board of Education business. So A, we have professional meetings and out-of-school activities. Pam Fisher, who is our head cook, to the OASBO Food and Nutrition Spring Conference and Training in Dublin, Ohio, from March 4th through the 6th. You can see the costs associated totaling to $723.80. And then we also have Cheryl Sapanic, and we've added Michelle Grant. So Cheryl Sapanic, the Director of Student Services, and Michelle Grant, the Director of CTE, to the 2026 Spring Octa Conference in Dublin, Ohio. Michelle's total is a little bit different. She will be driving. She will be attending the Quality Program Review Workshop in Nelsonville on that Tuesday, and then driving directly from there to Columbus. And then B, we have donations, accept the following monetary donations to Harrison Career Center Stand Food Club. $50 from Cody Ching, DMD Incorporated of Caddis. $50 from Clark Kirkland Bar Funeral Home of Caddis. $100 from Rod Maple of Maple Excavating of Richmond, Ohio. And the addendum that we have there also is $100 from Southeast Incorporated of Columbus, Ohio. We had somebody reach out to Mr. Shreve, a gentleman who had history with carpentry and welding, passed away and wanted any funds being donated to be donated to our skilled trades program here at the Belmont Career Center. So we did receive a $50 donation in memory of Ron Craig from Larry and Beth Bickerstaff of Bridgeport, Ohio, to the skilled trades program at Belmont Career Center. And I think we're going to donate that to carpentry and welding. Mark, is that what we decided?
Yes.
Yes.
And C is student activity count. We have one more student activity count, which is passed out at the beginning of the meeting. That's for our welding program. Approved student activity count as per board policy and the rules and regulations of the state of Ohio for the 2026 school year.
Any questions on items A through C? I recommend the Board of Education approve contracts and other Board of Education items.
Motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the last thing is the blue piece of paper in your packet at the very back. And it is the Tax Incentive Review Council. The meeting for this is at the Belmont County Port Authority, and it is going to be held on Wednesday, so this Wednesday, the 18th at noon. In the past, we had nominated Mr. Mike Wallace to attend that. And they just would like a member from our board. It can be anybody. It doesn't have to be anybody from these specific districts, but anybody on our board who would like to represent the Belmont Harrison Career Center at that meeting.
I would do that.
You would do
I know a
that?
little bit about that.
Okay, oh, thank you.
You know a little bit about the people, too. Good.
Okay. Yeah, so recommend appointing a representative of the board to the Belmont County Port Authority. She served on the Tax Incentive Review Council, and Mr. Probst has agreed to do that. So if there aren't any comments or questions, I recommend the Board of Education approve the appointment.
So moved. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I don't have
You got
anything
anything?
else.
Is there anything else from the board? Seeing none, meeting adjourned, let's go. Don't make sure you grab a cookie.
All right.